Welcome to Exercising Depression podcast and YouTube channel. My name is Claire, your host, and today we're going to be talking about uncertain times. Yes, so if you are, around at all at the moment, you obviously know what's going on at the moment with the coronavirus and COVID-19, same thing, different name. I don't really want to sort of go on about that too much, especially at the moment because everything is so uncertain at the moment. But I just kind of want to share my feelings of what I think that I'm going to have to expect in the next few weeks and months. And maybe it's a matter of weeks rather than months, because the idea of it lasting months and months is kind of depressing. Yeah, I mean it's just my thoughts at the moment and what I'm sort of anticipating, but also kind of like a PSA, if you have anyone in your life who does suffer with mental health problems, and the stress of this, whatever's going on at the moment, will weigh heavy on everybody. Of course they will. I'm not saying it's just people who have mental health problems, but it is an added stress that I myself am finding quite difficult to deal with at the moment. I don't deal with stress very well, and it's nothing to do with sort of being inept in any way. I don't think it is anyway, but I get highly stressed. I don't so much get highly stressed very easily, but things tend to pile on top of me in a way that eventually it piles and piles and piles, and then I get stressed. So it tends to be more of a combination of things that result in stress. And for me, I don't know if it's anything to do with my BPD or it's just who I am as a person. But when it comes to dealing with stress, I don't really know how to deal with it very well. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's going to be happening in the next few weeks and or months, and how I'm feeling about it really. At the moment in time, I'm pretty stressed, as many people are. I know that, I totally get that. And not only am I stressed because of the COVID-19 thing and all the uncertainty that's going on, but I've been stressed about a couple of other things as well that have been weighing on me recently. Some things I can't really talk about, family things which I don't think I'll ever talk about because it's just it'd be way too messy to talk about, and honestly it's something that breaks my heart and has affected me mentally quite badly. And not as bad as I have been in the past, but it does weigh on me, and it does actually affect my mental health very badly. So I've had that kind of stress recently. I've had other things. I was meant to be going on holiday in a couple of weeks with my mum, in a week actually, with my mum to go see my dad over in Abu Dhabi. Obviously I can't go and do that now, which I'm really upset about, just because I'm not explicitly been told that I'm not allowed to go over to Abu Dhabi, I'm not allowed to fly, but because of my living situation and my personal situation and the situation over there, I just made the decision not to go. Main reason is I think I'm sort of seen as at risk. I'm asthmatic. I'm not very asthmatic, and I'm very mildly asthmatic, but I also live in a house with someone who is immune compromised, and that's something I've got to keep in account when I'm thinking of what I can and cannot do at the moment, and I'm not willing to put other people's health at risk. So flying out to Abu Dhabi is just not doable, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to going. I really want to see my dad. I've not been to Abu Dhabi since before I got married, so 6 years ago, even longer now actually. And yeah, but over there it's quite contained. I think they've been like 4 or so instances. Everything's shut down, so even if I did go, there's nothing there, nothing's open, no restaurants, no pubs, no bars, no water parks, no touristy things, which is fine because I obviously want to go and see my dad, but you know, if I'm going to be there for a week and I'm just going to be able to sit in his apartment for a week, kind of defeats the object of going a little bit, I think. I'm going to try and reschedule my flights because I really want to go, because like I said, it's been a really long time since I have been. I was really looking forward to the trip, but you know, it's out of my hands. And then obviously all this has come along, and that's added stress, and everybody's stressed. Like my husband's stressed, my family is stressed, and it's the uncertainty of not knowing what's around the corner really. And so another decision I've made today is that I'm not going to be doing any of my gym classes, and I'm going to cut down going to the gym. I might even have to stop going to the gym. That thought fills my heart with utter sadness, because losing a coping mechanism for me is very not a good thing, and it's something I'm really not looking forward to have to deal with. The whole point of this podcast for me was sharing how exercise and training really helps me live day to day with my various mental health things, and losing that's going to be very difficult, but also isolation. Sorry, the cat wanted to come in. So losing the gym is going to be really hard for me. Like I said, I spend a lot of time in the week on my own, not on my own, but in working, and there's the isolation in that, and it's just going to get more now. It's just going to get more and more isolated, and I know I've got my family around and that's fine, but my living situation has its own stresses for me. Not major stresses, I mean I'm not stressed every day of it, but there are stresses that come with my particular living situation. And not being able to get away from them, not being able to go to my safe spaces, not being able to go to the places where I feel the most chilled out and the most safe mentally and the most confident is going to be really hard. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I'm probably going to use this podcast as a platform to really try really hard to just cope, really. Sorry I didn't actually get to mention what was going on, but obviously with COVID-19 there's a lot of shutting down of things in the news yesterday. We've said not to go to pubs, clubs, theatres, social gatherings, that kind of thing. My husband and I have already lost our Saturday afternoon trip to the pub, which we absolutely love, and it's just a nice way that we've spent time with each other outside the house, just being a couple, just being a married couple, going out, having a couple of drinks and enjoying each other. We've lost that, which I'm trying not to get stressed about, because it's a luxury, and I know it's a luxury and it's a privilege that I get to do that, but being stuck in this house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is going to be very, very hard for most people. Of course it is, absolutely, I totally get that. But with my other stresses and upsets at the moment, and plus these stresses, I am finding it hard to be okay at the moment. I've expressed it to my husband. My husband knows, and I've just said, look, I know, and I've been snappy and snippy with him, and sort of made his life really difficult recently, and I've just had to admit that I don't know how to not be not okay at the moment. I don't know how to be unstressed. I don't know how to not be upset by personal issues. And that's not through lack of trying. I genuinely have no idea how to be not the way I am at the moment. My husband's fantastic, obviously. He's a real beacon for me, and he's a real rock. He's a real beacon of strength for me, and if I didn't have him I would completely disintegrate. I'm pretty certain I wouldn't be as strong as I am being now. But I urge other people, like if you have people in your lives who do have problems with isolation, problems with mental health, are stressed, especially with like uncertainty and all that kind of thing, I mean obviously I don't know if you can actually go and see people at the moment. I think we're being urged not to sort of visit family and friends, but if you can check up on them, like, and maybe if you don't hear from them, it's not them being bad people or bad friends, it's just that they're scared and they don't know what to do. And self-isolation is a coping mechanism of people who have certain mental health problems, and I for one put my hand up and say it's something I use as a coping mechanism. I self-isolate when I'm not feeling that good because my BPD tells me all sorts of things, like, you know, nobody really likes me, no one wants to see me anyway, I'm a complete burden and a drain on energy to people who are around me, and that can be vicious. But self-isolation is something we're being encouraged to do, so coping with that is going to be new for me and many people. So because of all the uncertainty of everything, it's very hard to know what to do, what is right to do, and it's hard, isn't it? This won't be the last time I talk about this. I think maybe the next couple of episodes will probably be sort of, you know, updates and things on what's going on and stuff. We're allowed to go outside for like walks and stuff, but the idea of losing the gym is, I don't know what's gonna happen. First of all, I just want to keep my fitness levels up because I am quite a very active person. I go to the gym 4 times a week at least, and that's sometimes plus classes. You know, I do 2 classes. Meant to have boot camp this evening, but I'm not going. I just don't know what to do, and it's really unnerving. Yeah, like I said, I'm okay at the moment. I'm okay. I don't know why I'm lying. I'm not lying to you guys. Like, I'm not okay at the moment. I'm struggling with stresses, with upset, and the things that I'm upset about, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about them really. These are things that have happened in the recent past that I can't take back, and it's really upsetting me. And like I said, I just don't know how to be not upset. I don't know how to not be not okay anymore about it, and it's just I don't know where to go from here. And I know I work from home, and I always have work and stuff to do. Like, I quite like having videos backed up, like at least one ahead of schedule, so that I always have, you know, if something happens where I can't film, I always have one. I'm always ahead of schedule by 1, so I'll never be struggling to make my videos, because if I get sick, obviously making videos is going to be almost impossible. So I've got 2 in the bag now at the moment. Next week's one and the week after, and I'll just carry on filming until I've got all the ones done that I can. That's the thing, I'm not really that worried about getting sick. I'm worried about getting sick because of who I live with. That's going to be very difficult. They're negotiating that, because obviously if you get sick you have to self-isolate. I live in a house of 5 people. I'd have to isolate myself from my husband, which is obviously going to be hard. We have the space for me. I mean, I could stay in here. I've got a bed for some reason in the studio that I could use, and it would just be extra isolation, which I just don't know how I would cope with. Obviously if other people get sick, if my husband gets sick, I mean he works at school, it's quite likely he may pick up this. He'll have to self-isolate, and obviously that'll be isolation from me as well. And that'll be hard, but this is all what ifs, like I said. I mean, it's this isolation, I'm sort of going, oh, woe is me, all this isolation, but you know, the reason I'm doing it is because that's what you should be doing. You know, you need to take these precautions to keep everyone safe. I still have three grandparents. I still have three grandparents who are, you know, 70s, 80s, very active people, but still, you know, seen as vulnerable because of their age. I see them on a regular basis. Obviously, I don't want to pick up something and then pass it on to them, because they have a much harder time dealing with it and getting over it than I would, because I'm relatively healthy. I know I'm asthmatic, but I'm very, very mildly asthmatic. Not only that, I live with someone, like I said, who is immune compromised. I live with my father-in-law, he's got diabetes, type 1. So, you know, that's very important that they don't pass anything on to him. So yeah, all this isolation is going to be very tough, but I'm not going to not do it. It's essential. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect, really. I'm hoping I'm going to be pleasantly surprised and it's going to be shorter lived than I'm expecting. And just now I'm going to feel the having to stay in all the time. I think that's going to get really hard. And yeah, I worry a bit about my mum. My mum she's in her 50s, but that's not why I'm worried. I'm not worried about her getting sick. I'm worried about her being on her own, because she lives by herself. My dad, obviously, like I said, lives in Abu Dhabi, and it's, you know, I don't want her to be by herself, and I know she's fine, she's perfectly capable, and she's, you know, she's a big girl and she'll look after herself. But she's in that house by herself. She only lives like a mile away, like, you know, she lives just down the road, but I don't like the idea of not being able to go and see her or spend time with her. Maybe I can, because I self-isolate anyway. I don't really see people, but then she does at her job. She meets people every day. I don't really know I don't know what to do about that, really. You know, I could just say, you know, screw it and go and spend time with my mum, but if that means that I get exposed to something, or if my mum gets it, then obviously I can't see my mum. It's the not knowing, it's just so upsetting. I'm scared, I am. I'm frightened for many reasons. This is a huge thing, it's a worldwide thing, you know, we've not had anything like this for a very, very long time. Yeah, this thing, like, I'm not an introvert in any shape or form. So not talking to people and not going and seeing people and not being outside is something I'm going to really struggle with. I don't know, I've got real privilege. I do. I live in a lovely home, I've got a gorgeous garden in a field, I've got lovely hens, I've got lots to do at home. You know, I've got my podcast, I've got my YouTube channel, I've got the YouTube channel I work for, I have various other things I could be getting on with. And I have the means to provide for myself and my family. That's the main thing. I'm not in any way stuck to be able to go and get food and things that I need. You know, there are people out in the community who genuinely need help, you know, fixed incomes, mobility issues. You know, if me and my husband have to go further afield to go buy what we need for our food, then we have the ability to do that, and I'm in no way saying that I'm oppressed in any way or in any way in danger, because I'm not. I have real privilege in this situation. It's just I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to cope with this personally. But I'm not going to keep going on about it, because I don't want these videos to be too long, because my last videos and podcasts have been really long recently, and I'd quite like my vlogs to at least be a bit more attractive for people to watch, so not half an hour long. But I think what I'll do is, because obviously the self-isolation stuff, I'll probably, I know I do one episode a week, I might try and do 2, you know, little updates. I know that I'll be spending a lot of time watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts in the next few weeks, so I'll just add to that if anyone uses me as a boredom buster or a friendly voice or face, depending on whether you're watching or listening. So yeah, uncertain times at the moment, but I will keep you all updated on myself If there's anyone out there really struggling and want to get in contact with me, please do. You can email me at exercisingdepressionpodcast@gmail.com. I'll put the address on the screen. Also, if you're listening, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Exercising Depression. I'll leave a link in the description. If you're watching and you want to listen, I'll leave a link in the description box to my podcast. There's more episodes of my podcast than there are my vlogs. I think I'm up to 20 episodes. I'm not really sure. I'll have to go check. Yeah, please, if you want to write a review for my podcast, please do. It makes me more discoverable for people who are wanting to maybe listen to a podcast like mine. Like I said, I do have one review from somebody. I've not been able to find it again, but once I do, I'll definitely read it out because it was wonderful. And if you've not liked, commented or subscribed to my channel, please do. It helps me out loads, and I really want to raise the profile of this vlog channel and of my podcast, because I feel like I don't want to sound big-headed, but I would like it if I could help at least 1 or 2 people who feel alone in mental health problems. So yes, thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, take care guys, look after yourselves.